It's not about spaceships.
Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show.
It's not about spaceships.
Well, that was fun. I was about to go live. And as I was about to go live, the power went out everywhere because they didn't want this story to get to you. So I posted the story up on MakingStarWars.net because I know some of you may need to go to bed on the East Coast. And so I wanted to be cool, so I just posted it up. I was going to do a thing where we went out at the same time. It's going to be all crazy. People are going to be like, what? And then, seriously, no joke. 1 minute before I was going to go live, power goes out. No power. And then the internet sends a thing out saying, hey, it's going to be down till 10 o'clock. I was like, no. Why? Till 10 o'clock? Are you serious right now? Where's my glasses? And then to make matters worse, if you've been watching the show, I've been in SIM card hell. And I restored my phone last night and made a bunch of progress on getting the SIM card issue fixed on my phone. But my phone doesn't have Twitter. My phone has I can't get into Twitter. I can't do it. I can't do anything but post the articles until my phone gets fixed. So I had a perfect storm of just what a night. And yeah, it's not fun, but I'm going to share the article and we will lightly read over it. I don't know. Do you guys want me to read it to you? I don't mind. I don't mind. Some of you guys don't want to go on the site and read. I don't want to read either. Who wants to read? It's for nerds. But let me go and share it. So yeah, as you can see, I had to select it for the title of the post. But exclusive, Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi, details on the first punch of the rematch of the century. Now, I got to be a little bit careful here. There's things I can talk about, things I can't talk about. And I tried to put what I can talk about in the article. So not trying to be withholding, not trying to be a jerk, not trying to be one of those people that just goes like, oh, is this happening? Yuppers, that type. Don't want to string you along. So I put what I know concretely, what I've seen, and what I've been told, all of these things together to make this article. And it's pretty solid. The only thing I could say to talk my own article down, and I do this to myself a lot, so you guys know, on my biggest scoops, I've talked it down to myself constantly. But it doesn't mean that this is their first encounter, but this is what I am writing about is the fight that goes down, like the main fight, which they filmed for some time. So anyways, spoilers, if you don't really want to be spoiled about some of the stuff from Kenobi, Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Disney Plus series that's coming out next year, don't watch the rest of the show. Nice seeing you though, but you're probably not going to like my show in general. But if you do like spoilers, we're happy to have you. And then also watch as people try to co-opt it. Just watch. They will. Anyways, spoilers. So I want to say, it's kind of hard to believe that, there's another Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader story that's upon us. It felt like Revenge of the Sith was it, the story was told. And, Kathleen Kennedy comes out after they announced it during, I think it was the Disney earnings call, calls it the fight of the century. And with the fight of the century, we were like, okay, so there's more. And I think it's kind of a big deal in the sense that everybody wanted to see Darth Vader fighting like we did in Rogue One. Everybody wanted to see that, but you had Darth Vader. He just wasn't in the suit yet. And while that is Darth Vader, it's not Darth Vader. Like Darth Vader's the dude in the costume. whether, and my brain can hold two ideas at once, and it makes sense. Hayden Christensen's Anakin becomes Darth Vader. Fine. But it's not really when you were like a kid and you imagine the prequels, if you're my age anyways, what that was going to entail. So, anyways, yeah. One thing is, when I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. That quote is getting turned on its head. Whatever you thought it meant, not what you thought it meant. And another thing I wanted to point out is that Obi-Wan Kenobi, from the stuff I've seen, is peak Kenobi. This isn't Kenobi like, oh, I'm living in a little hut and I'm so tired with post-traumatic stress. Oh, no, he's not that guy. He's not 90 years old. He's Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan. Just looks a little bit older. I mean, essentially. And just as powerful. One key note, I got to tread lightly here, so please forgive me for that. But there's not a lot I can do. It's, we can't be all or nothing about this stuff. But Obi-Wan Kenobi is on a rescue mission in some episodes. And the captive prisoner is important. All I'm allowed to say is to the cause, okay? And he has to save said person from the Inquisitor's clutches. And the main Inquisitor holding the person prisoner is Moses Ingram. I think that's it. Yeah, Moses Ingram. The success of the mission is most likely what springs Vader forward into action. Now, I'm not confirming that person is dispatched and murdered or killed or defeated or anything like that. But the one thing that I do want to throw out there is these Inquisitors in the show, or at least the main one, appears to be kind of a badass, because this is like Revenge of the Sith Kenobi from what I've seen, and it was 1-to-1. So anyways, so all this stuff goes down. Then we get to see the castle. All right, the castle and the consequence. As matters escalate from the trouble Kenobi is causing, we see Mustafar again. And that ties into the Star Wars Newsnet stuff, I'm pretty sure. Darth Vader rises from his throne and hurriedly walks towards the ship's hangar to intercept his old master. And I've talked on the show before that there's Inquisitors, and that their ships are in the series. And some of the stuff that they used for the Inquisitor ships as to like mark where they were it's the same thing used for Darth Vader. I am throwing it out there because nobody knows, the effects aren't done, but that he is TIE advanced, and it's such a 1-to-1 in terms of like general size. You know what I mean? Like it's a stand-in. It does the job. So, but I could be wrong. He could be using the same kind of ship that the Inquisitors use, or it could be something entirely different, and it's just a marker. So take it for what you will. Excuse me. It wasn't actually built. That's the point. So the fighter's trunks, excuse me. Obi-Wan is wearing his clothes from Revenge of the Sith. There could be some little tiny differences, but in what I saw, it was Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, for this fight. The white tunic, no robe. This is from my buddy Christopher. I know you're watching, Christopher. It's for you, dude. His white tunic is more worse for wear now. He looks a little older, as I mentioned, a little more tattered. Like an aging gunslinger, his swagger remains the same, but he is ready to throw down. And he walks out onto the dirt, and this is like a dirt, dirt set with little mounds of dirt, which is it's just weird. I don't really know how to make sense of it from what I saw. So, but yeah, this is the guy. Like I said, this is the guy who says Sith Lords are a specialty. He is ready. And so Darth Vader steps onto the dirt. The costume, if I had to guess, is pretty much identical to the Rogue One: A Star Wars Story costume. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the same one even, but I don't know. But I'm pretty sure it's just the Rogue One Darth Vader costume. And the reason behind that thinking is not only did it look like it to me, but the chest plate glows brighter on it. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, but the chest plate for the Rogue One Vader, it's a lot brighter. I mean, it could simply be that they used the Rogue One chest plate electronics, and that's why I'm coming to this conclusion. But it did look like it to me. But I'm not like a costumer, I haven't built my own Darth Vader and stuff, so I'm sure somebody, I'm frustrating somebody somewhere. But what can I do? So yeah, and I couldn't tell what color the lenses in the eyes were either, which would have been a dead giveaway. Anyways, Obi-Wan realizes who that is when he sees him. When he sees Vader. There's no doubt in his mind who it is. And they kind of have like a moment like where he looks at him, Darth Vader starts approaching. And as Vader kind of gets into his battle stance, Kenobi Hadoukens the shit out of him, just and throws him, and like it's probably like 50 feet. If I wanted to be super conservative with that number, I would say it was like 30 feet. When they were filming this, they were filming it using wire work, and what he was being thrown into appeared to have a wall, but then it was blue screen. It was a blue screen there, and like the wall was like rock wall. And so every indication from what I can see or have seen is that is a wall. That is a rock side of like a canyon wall kind of setting almost. And he's thrown into it, and there was like atmospheric on-set stuff being used to make it, like maybe like the smoky rock, not smoky, but like dust particles. So but if it comes out and he's getting thrown into a giant fan or something, I mean, the power of computer technology, ladies and gentlemen. So but Vader, so Vader gets thrown, then he gets up, and it was like Terminator. That's the best way I can describe it. The way he gets up is just like Terminator, back to business, and he's pissed off. And basically that's where I have to stop. But it is Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan isn't messing around, and he's got some power. He's got some power behind his moves. So once again, the shoot and the assumptions. The sets are full of blue screens and partial sets. The grounded rock formation of the duel honestly looked a lot like Jeddah to me. If I had to play, the best example I could use is if there was a multiple choice test, and it was a picture of where they fight, and it said, is this Jeddah, Tatooine, Geonosis, some shit from The Mandalorian, or your mama? I would probably have to pick Jeddah. It looked a lot like Jeddah to me. If it ended up being Geonosis, it wouldn't surprise me, but it looked like Jeddah. And I also should throw in there that it's probably going to be Tatooine because it looks like it's not. But I've seen so much stuff from Tatooine from this. I don't know how to reconcile the differences. I mean, I guess it could just be down the street and changes a little bit, but it doesn't look like the other Tatooine elements for what it's worth. So yeah. So basically the rock kind of reminded me of Vasquez rocks in Southern California. Had a little bit of that vibe to it. That Star Trek episode, where he fights the lizard. You also see it in Bill and Ted, where Bill and Ted get killed. Rest in peace, Bill and Ted. Heroes of mine. Has that vibe to it. So once again, Vader was thrown on wires. They were doing a lot of wire work. Atmospheric effects, I hit that. So it's probably Jeddah, but watch it be Tatooine, because why wouldn't it be? And my sources say that the battle was shot over around 2 weeks, and it's massive. it was just 2 weeks of them filming this fight. The shoot took place in August of 2021. It's about around the time I saw you and down there. And Hayden Christensen was not in the suit for those 2 weeks when they were filming the fight. Does that mean Hayden's not ever in the suit? No, it doesn't mean that, and I want to be clear about that. But I could tell you it's not Hayden in all of it, and it's mostly not Hayden in a lot of that stuff, or all of the main fight anyways. So if we see Vader walking around before then, it's going to make sense. You know what I mean? It's going to make a lot of sense. And so that's where we are on this right now. That's like the best I got for it. Let me see if I could change the size here. All right. Anyways, yeah. So now let's hit the chat a little bit and make sure I didn't lose anybody with my this night. It was a weird night. Nothing could ever go smooth, and that's just the way it is. Got to roll with it. But force push for days. Yes. Yeah, that's that part of it was like it's a little surprising, but it's cool. It's definitely rad. Johanna says it's going to be fight night in Kenobi. Yeah, it is. When they knew they were going to sell that this end battle was like the main feature of it. I guess when it was a film, that was going to be like the main third act feature. You know, that's all I could think of, and that they took everything that they created from it and even made it better with more time, but had it all there. And so I'm looking forward to it because I was satisfied with Revenge of the Sith. That is my favorite Star Wars movie. But do I care about the sanctity of something feeling like, oh, it was referencing that, but if there's an opportunity for more fun, I'll go with the more fun every time, you know? Nolan says, just read the article. Sounds awesome. I was rooting for the rematch to take place on Mustafar. Yeah, I mean, if it took place on Mustafar, I would be surprised based off of a couple of the things that I laid out in the article. But I'm not sure if I can invite you right now, Mr. Thrawn Talk. I had to leave the house because I was just like, oh man, everybody's gonna like be like, what is this? Where's the article? And I'm like just like sitting here and I'm like disconnected from the world. I can't I couldn't do anything. It sucked. Hold on, let me see. Wait, I'm gonna try a trick. I'm gonna try a trick to see if this will work to get Mr. Thrawn Talk on. Because you know what? Sometimes you just need your Thrawn Talk, right? Let me see if I can invite the old. Okay, I guess I got a guest invite. Oh, wait. Oh, I think it's going to work. Okay. See, I didn't have internet earlier. So, Rob's all, hey, you okay? Oh, man. Yeah. And then, so anyways, okay. Where are you at? You change your name too much, Mr. Thrawn Talk, Mr. Jesse. It confuses my old man brain. I'm sure Sketchcraft is busy because it's on, but I'm gonna send him the invite anyways because I'm in. All right. So anyhow, we did that. Okay. So, okay, where was I at in the chat? I was doing some chat stuff. Chatting. All right. Nolan says, just read the article. It sounds awesome. Mr. Rum says hi. How's it going, Mr. Red Rum? Oh, there he is. Rob at Sketchcraft beat Jesse in.
Hey.
How's it going?
You'll see me in the chat soon too. I'm there. I'm here. I'm there. I'm everywhere.
Dude, can you let your ego rest for a second? Like, do you have to be all up in everything? God, man.
Well, you know, after I picked a fight with Meg and got my ass kicked, I have to never mess with a well-armed British girl. You know what I mean? Captain Carter, like, fucking kick my ass.
Don't do it. Yeah, don't do it.
See, you're having a hell of a fun day, aren't you?
Yeah. Did I just lock up? Okay.
No, you're good.
All right, cool. Thrawn Kill just joined. He's got the alert. Maybe it's gonna let him join. Maybe not. Do you see him? Because I don't see him.
I don't see him.
What do you think he's doing right now?
Worrying about you. He's a good friend, dude. You know why I asked if you were okay? Wasn't because it was before I even knew this was happening. He was like, I haven't been able to get a hold of Jason.
Oh, it's my phone situation.
That's what I told him. I said, you had a phone situation. I was like,
Yeah.
I think he's all right. But then when he didn't show up, I'm like, is something wrong with him?
Yeah. Today when Amanda picked up the kids, I was like, hey, let me borrow your SIM for a second. And we put her SIM into my phone and it worked. So they basically sent me a bad SIM.
So this is like the wrong day to have phone and internet issues for you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Of all days.
Wait, hold on. You know what? Jesse's in here twice is the problem. We got Jesse 2 times.
Oh,
That's what it was. All right, let me turn your sound up, Jesse.
Oh, hey, we there?
And then look, we got blacked out Jesse and we got normal Jesse because that's tonight, guys. I'm pretty convinced that this is like the end times and everything's going down. Phone services aren't working. Power's been going out. There's 2 Jessies. Obi-Wan and Anakin are fighting again. I mean,
I had a relatively chill night. I was playing with my
the moon has
schnauzer.
turned to blood.
I mean, look at how low Jesse is. I mean, that's
Hey,
the
I'm
other.
low riding. I'm here in California. You have to low ride.
Let's see. Look, we're 1, 2, 3.
Like the Brady Bunch on the stairs.
Step by step.
We're like a
Step
like
by
a
step.
Russian doll of idiocy.
Ooh, baby.
Even Ewan made it. You know, he's still in there.
All right.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm having video loading up slow, but Allison says hello, all alone tonight. look at the screen, Allison. No, yeah, I was obviously, but good thing I had that stuff in my old browser. Yeah, so I had another friend send me an email going, "Hey, are we cool?" And I was like, because they were texting me and I just wasn't responding.
Oh, they thought they were being ghosted.
Yeah, so like I think like people who are sending me iMessages, oh, that's fine. People that it's not getting through the iMessage, it ain't happening. But
Yeah, you got to train them, Jason. Like I just don't respond to my phone for days. Like I've trained people. You better wait. If I don't respond for a month, maybe that's an issue. But
yeah.
Yeah.
so you're certain it's Jeddah? Because that'd be dope
No.
if we go back there.
I'm not certain. I'm not certain. I'm not certain. Nope.
Darn it.
Nope. He keeps going 100%, right? 100%. Yeah, 100%. And then that's all that
mountains.
That one person takes away. But yeah, I mean, I guess like you know, something I didn't want to do in the article, because if I do certain things in the article, like I could speculate with clear, when I'm not a good writer, but when I am a clear writer at times, I'll be like, and just to be clear, I don't know if it's Jeddah. And someone will be like, you said Jeddah. You said it though.
But you know what would be cool if it was Jeddah and like they're fighting on the nose of that statue, right? Like
Yeah.
Like it's a North by Northwest moment where he's clinging to the nose. And Vader's like, oh, I have the nose ground. And he's like, no. And he force pushes him.
Well, I'm going to hide myself for a second and put myself back in to see if it is my shit. All right. Well, now I'm on the bottom.
Wow, that's great.
Now, look now Jesse, even as low as, is higher than me.
I like it when you talk really fast. I just like the way it looks. It's a good
Is that
look.
what it looks like? Is it all delayed on your side too? Okay. Fuck this
It
camera.
looks like you're having just a fun time.
All right. We're going this way then, because it makes no sense.
Pink dot. Cool. Right on.
But yeah. Anyways, so I'm just throwing it out there. Saw Gerrera could be in this potentially. You know what I mean? I guess that potentiality is there, and so I'm wondering if that link is linked to it. But But I don't know for certain or anything like that. So that's why I'm like, on the show, I think I was hoping you could see my stupid face where I'm like, I don't know. But it's worth putting it out there that if Obi-Wan, and this is all conjecture once again, to be clear, Jeddah would be the place to go if you, and it hasn't been all fucked up yet necessarily. Like
Just
Rogue
that one
One,
area.
yeah, they start mining it for the Death Star, but it hasn't been as destroyed as it is when we see it in that film and what happens to it.
And they have all the assets made, right? So like, it's not like they're deleting that stuff. So
yeah, they have a ton of I'm sure of development in it. You know what I mean? And so it could be, but and I hope it is. And if it was Geonosis, I'd be happy with that too, because I mean, like what if we end up having something like we do see events kind of popping up potentially if all of the spoilers that we're hearing rolling around are in the realm of accurate. Like if Maz Kanata is in the Boba Fett show, we see the Slave One in that video game in Battlefront 2, which is sort of like because they knew that was going to happen. They knew that was one thing that was going to happen. And but we did see a lot of stuff about like the Geonosian like extermination and stuff like that. So like I'm just throwing it out there in a speculative way because I don't know everything and I'm not pretending to.
Could Saw be seen in more than one series, possibly? Or he could be in this and then maybe like the Andor show, at least referenced. Probably
yeah, I believe he's confirmed for Andor. And so the fact or the idea of like getting him into the Kenobi show at the same time or in the same ways, like that seems possible to me, right? I mean, this seems like it's in the realm of possibility at least.
you think he'll be messed up differently in each series if he is like not so much in Andor, a little bit more in Obi, like
yeah,
he was a little more human in the earlier ones.
Right. Well, I mean, like when you look at him in Bad Batch, they pretty much used like the Clone Wars version, which I feel like they should have brought more towards Rogue One already by that point. But then we see him in Rebels, and so Rebels, you can't go past what it looks like in Rebels though, which I think is the earliest point in on screen we've seen him. And then we obviously have Rogue One. And I do think he's one of those guys that is going to just pop up in everything though. As time goes on, he's basically like he's the rebel leader where you don't have to make it all about hope. You know what I mean? He gets to be a fucking maniac. He could be the bad guy and the good guy at the same. There's all kinds of stuff to do that's more interesting than hope.
He feeds you to monsters, for fun.
But I mean, I am the guy who's all obsessed with Obi-Wan Kenobi, who's like Princess Leia's only hope, but whatever. Kenneth says, "Hi, Jason. I've been busy lately. Sorry, I haven't joined the last few videos. Thanks for the scoops." Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And I appreciate everyone who supports the channel on Patreon and on the YouTube.com membership stuff. So that is always appreciated. And
it's a shame though, because there was a time when Saw Gerrera raised Kalwakian monkey lizards for fighting, and it was
that could have been lucrative.
Yeah, it wasn't a good look for him. It's why he wasn't able to lead the rebellion. So.
On a completely unrelated Star Wars note, because I can't help myself, did you guys ever see the stuff about Jim Jones and monkeys? Oh, it's fucking wild. I made it my album cover.
That is the most airplane-like moment you've ever had on this show.
Have you ever experienced Jim Jones?
You ever experienced a Jim Jones style monkey massacre?
I just wanted to learn how to fly the plane, sir.
But if you want some Jim Jones spoilers from the 70s, the monkey killed himself. Just throwing that out there. So you know what? Whoever sketchcraft this, get the fuck out of our chat.
Jeez, look at that.
Are you serious right now?
Typed that an hour ago.
Disgusting. Oh, okay, Allison. Hey, Allison. I teased Allison earlier and forgot to say, how's it going, Allison? Allison, from what I heard, it's the Rogue One suit modified. Yeah, that's I would
Seems
with
the
what
most logical choice.
With what I've seen, I cannot disagree with you. You know what I mean? That makes complete sense. But the one thing that on my end, just for like full disclosure, is I don't actually know what was different. It's kind of like when you go to somebody's house and they've changed something, but you don't really know what it was. But
He's got a red arm.
Got a red arm now. Yeah,
It's a red leg.
Recognize me.
Yeah, it's the red leg.
I've been lifting and I got red arms. But yeah. So Red Rum says, "I love spoilers," and he's looking for a group. I don't know. Is that what that means? I used to play EverQuest, and people used to write
Lucasfilm
LFG.
Games? I don't know.
But oh, I got another one. Get the fuck out of the chat. God, stop promoting your own fucking podcast. If you don't have something to say, just get the fuck out of here. Sorry, you guys had
calling you that guy.
So, no, I'm sorry, Jesse. I'm sorry that you have to deal with people in the chat like that.
Oh man, I know this guy, especially that guy. It just doesn't stop. It doesn't take no for an answer.
So Kenneth says, I've never liked the concept of Inquisitors, but I wonder who the rescue mission is about. Yeah. And I'm not going to, let's put it this way. I have a really good hunch about who it is, but I don't know. It was, yeah. I was being told a lot of stuff, and beggars can't be choosers. And I don't really push people to tell me what they don't want to tell me. I let them tell me what they want to tell me and what they naturally feel like is safe for them to tell me. And I've always been like you know, we all know people who've been involved in companies that where secrecy matters, and then some people start getting shit for something that they didn't even do. And boy, is that not a comfortable thing when a source starts shitting a brick. And so I don't talk about anything that they don't tell me and that's not safe for them to tell me. So will Hayden have a lot to do in the series? I can't say that for certain, but I think this is a lot like the Pedro Pascal situation where it comes down to who fucking cares. I mean, and I mean that respectfully, Johannes, because he's not the voice of Darth Vader. James Earl Jones is, and he's going to be the face of Anakin when he's and I wouldn't be surprised if they did some honorary kind of stuff where they put him in for like one of the shots, like in the battle, so he could say he did it. And what was it like filming the end battle, Hayden? Well, let me tell you, it was a lot like Canada, eh? You know, he could do that. You know what I mean? like they have to give him something to work with, and for conventions and stuff. But I don't know what happens in every episode, and I don't know. I just really know about this fight and some of the context of what leads to the fight, and so that's what I hit on today. But you know, I also think like you're gonna like that the stuff with the castle. I don't know how big that is. Like I don't know if the moments in Mustafar are is that long, or is he just in the tank like being a little bubble boy going? Hurts, Padme.
It's actually it's Devin Michael in the tank. Because he's already smooth. They got the hair. They just put him in there.
Yeah, he's like, I feel like Snoke took a shit. Now I'm Snoke. I'm a Snoke shit. And Palpatine's like, yes, I'm making a clone of myself. That's you as a tall turd. You look like a turd.
The technical term is floater, actually. Wards.
Get it? Who's in
I'm gonna
that?
make your grandson my boyfriend. But you never know. You never know. But anyways,
so if he's in it, then are we? I mean, not if he's in it, but when he's on screen, more likely could it be flashbacks that he's got, and they can things he was doing beforehand, like he is having memories himself, and so when we see Hayden, we see pre-Vader Hayden.
Yeah, I don't want to do the fucking thing that the fake scoopers do, where they tried and like shoehorn other people's scoops into their things and pretend like it was theirs. So I want to be like super clear that Star Wars Newsnet broke the Anakin's in the tube from Rogue One scoop. Like that was Star Wars Newsnet. And but I can confirm that their scoop is totally fucking on. Not trying to co-op. That's why I didn't put it in the article. But that shit is real. And the one thing I put in there because it was the language used to me that I have no details on, and they wouldn't say anything, is his throne. And so I don't know if it's like the chamber from Empire. Like I've been wondering about it since I learned this stuff. Is it like the chamber from Empire, or is it like an actual like king of the castle? You know, I don't know.
Well, I think from some of the book stuff, the pod chamber in like the Star Destroyers, that's just a mini room where he has in his castle. I think he had like a full size room that was all
like a fucking apartment
hermetically and all that stuff. He didn't have to do into a pod.
Yeah. So I mean, I would imagine he goes in his fish tank.
You think he's still making pod raisers? His pods?
Yeah.
Like lava ones? Yeah, and he just goes around the lava.
The finish line first.
No, it's way more fucking pathetic. It's way more pathetic. He's one of those guys who paints those like little Civil War miniatures. But it's like of like battles that he was in, and one of them is
green lightsaber blue.
It's a fucking Mustafar, but Obi-Wan's dead on there, and he's his boyish looking self with his long flowing hair.
Anakin always wins.
No, it's a diorama of him being on the high ground this time.
Yeah, exactly. And if you look really closely with like a magnifying glass, you can clearly see that there's a dong on the side of his pants right there. He still has his dick. It get burned off. It's fine.
They look like marshmallows. Damn it.
But I agree with Allison. More lightsaber fights equals more awesome.
Oh, totally, man.
So, and then
spin him.
Nolan says, thanks for putting this up with East Coasters in mind tonight. Heading to New York Comic Con in the AM later, gang. Oh, nice. Have a good time.
My Boss Logic's table. He's got some great shit.
Do that and be fucking safe. Like be like really careful. Like with that mask and that sanitizer. Don't fuck around. You don't want to get sick.
And don't snort the sanitizer. It doesn't work.
Yeah, and if you want to snort the sanitizer, just drink it. You'll get drunk. No, don't.
I'm shocked they didn't try pushing that lie. You know, like it just seems like that's right. Goes in your nose, sanitizer, clean the nose. Like I can just see why they hadn't.
It, bro.
All right.
Allison, I know sarcasm. Come on. Okay. Oh, thank you, Fandom Empire. I appreciate the super chat-tastic thingy. Says from Fandom Empire, will there be dialogue between Vader and Kenobi? Yeah, there is dialogue between Vader and Kenobi. And I cannot tell you what it is.
I hope they, no offense, I love James Earl Jones, but I hope they don't use his voice this time. Like, it just, even in Rogue One, it was like, okay, I'm glad, it's nice, he's older now, but they have Vader sound-alikes that are pretty spot on from that era now.
It's James Earl Jones.
Damn it.
Yeah. It's
all right, I'll get excited, but man, it's just, it's a little shaky these days.
But there will be dialogue, and one of the things why I have to be careful at the moment is that what if the dialogue said on set or said in certain things is different than what the reality is? When you have a guy in a suit and he's saying certain things, who knows if it's
Darth
really
Maul
that.
the only Sith who never talked shit while he was in the fight?
I'm trying to think. Yeah. I think he's probably the only person who didn't talk at all during the fight, really.
Because part of being on the dark side is getting into people's heads, and so saying a lot of crazy shit while you're fighting.
Well,
that'd be a fun fan edit to do for the Phantom Menace, where it's just the talking shit in the heads during the fight thing.
I really wish I could get out of here. My butt itches.
Well,
your lightsaber smells like farts.
It ties into what I was gonna say, which is people didn't realize that Darth Maul was just really shy. He's not so bad at really when you get to know him. He's just really shy. And if he could really say what he wanted to say, if you guys heard his singing voice, oh man, you think differently about him.
He's like Winona Ryder in Beetlejuice, right? Like, life is
I'm-
suffering.
I myself am strange and unusual.
Yeah.
So she says, I think I know who it is from a few inferences, but they could be doing a swerve. Now, this is pod racing. So, yeah.
Mom, I'm home.
Chris says, where do I find your podcast on iTunes? I don't have a podcast on iTunes right now because it is inconvenient. When I could come up with a way to make everything stream out like correctly, like I keep having all kinds of problems with audio on this show. I want to put all of the audio from this show onto the Patreon, and that was the best way for people to be able to get the show. But that changed, and so I'm still trying to make it work, because I think that the way we were trying before, that worked one time, doesn't work on a Mac so well. So Maul was more animalistic in his movements. Don't call shy people animalistic. God, Allison, come on! Like, do you have to be so brutal all the time?
He was really going through a tough spot, and it was very brave of him to take off that robe in Duel of the Fates and exposing himself to everybody. I just want everybody to know he's brave.
It's true. But yeah. So anyways, Allison's like, yep.
Now I'm gonna make you disappear, Wards.
now that we hung out with Allison, when I read her chats, I know exactly what the infliction is in the text.
Oh, you're not a B word. You're very wonderful.
So I'm a bitch. Get used to it. I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way. So yeah. But man, I gotta say though, Obi-Wan and Vader are looking good, you guys. I don't want to like overhype it, but it looked pretty fucking rad. And in the weirdest way, like I felt like, how do I put it? I felt like when the sequel trilogy came out, people started accepting the prequels for what they were, and we're just like, okay, now those are what they are. More shit's coming, fine, and then like I could enjoy it, and that's great, because I think they're actually really fun movies for the most part. And I feel like this one is going to, in a weird way, take off a little bit of responsibility from Revenge of the Sith. Is it going to ruin it or make it feel like not worthwhile? No, I don't think so. I don't feel like that's going to happen. I think some people will take that perspective in the end. Like, I like this, so I don't like that, as opposed to being like, oh, these things interconnect and I could enjoy both of them.
It'd have to be like a really big storyline though, too. I mean, if they're going to do something like that, I don't foresee them doing that.
Like when you left Revenge of the Sith, like a lot of the appeal of that movie and power was the fact that, oh shit, that's the last time they face off. That's the last time. Like, people are even sentimental about it, like when they say goodbye to each other on the like little thing, for his day and with the politicians and all that kind of jazz. People get sentimental about that kind of stuff. And when you fuck with that, when people have told themselves like over and over, this is special because this works because, and then you add, oh, but they actually fight again, and he's in the suit now, and you know what I mean? Like someone's going to say it takes away the power from Revenge of the Sith. Like someone is going to say that. But I also think, what's that?
It invalidates me.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't, actually, let me turn your mic up a little bit more.
Okay.
I feel like as I was looking at it and I started to make the connections, because that's what my brain does. I start to feel like, how does this stuff feel interfacing? That's kind of like where my brain's always at with that stuff. And I feel like, okay, like it continues. There's more to it. And when asked about dialogue, yes, there is more to be said. There's more to be said about Padme. And I can't say anything more than that. But there is more to be said. I mean, and maybe a little bit obvious if you just thought about it, but I didn't think about it. But you know what I mean?
Can you tell from what you've seen does it look more like a film or more like Mando? I'm not complaining about Mando's look, but you know, you can tell Mando's not a film, right? Like in a lot of
It's
sides.
episodical, yeah.
So if what was behind you
Visually,
was blue,
right?
we're not
Yeah.
we're not that different.
Not that far.
Yeah. So really, yeah, I could not tell you if it was going to be more in the film space. I know Cassian for sure is more of a film, but on purpose and by design. And Cassian does not have that Mando. I also feel like Mando and Loki kind of have that same kind of vibe to it.
But the Bespin stuff, no, the Bespin stuff on Empire looks more like Mando anyway because of just the way they shot it, you know. So it's not
Mhm.
like that's a negative. I'm not saying it has to have the scope.
Yeah.
I'm just curious because Jeddah has scope the way they, you know, that Edwards and them
Yeah.
shot that film like that. That's
Yeah.
the closest to a to like you know, a Robert Lean or Lean, right? I'm thinking about Robert Lean or a Lean film, like a epic kind of like 60s cinescope.
Flash Gordon style.
David Lean, I think of David. I can't remember the fucking name, but
Okay,
you know what I'm talking about. Shivago
Yeah.
and all that shit. So
Like a fucking CinemaScope like
right.
style.
So if it was Jeddah but shot with like Empire camera, like it'd be funny. Like how, you know, I don't know how to
Yeah.
describe that without. I'm
Yeah.
not talking down to it. You know, I'm just saying.
No. You're talking like, is the camera pulled in or pulled out almost, right? Like zoomed in kind of, or like zoomed out.
Because Mando's very
more.
zoomed in.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah, it is.
even on the sandcrawler stuff, or you know, even like when he's fighting the mud monster, in that mud fight with the beast, or even in the
Yeah.
lava sequence that Taika shot, it's still here. You know,
I can't remember if that ended up being a reek officially, but it looked like a reek from Attack of the Clones. That he fights in that thing. But you're right, yeah. It definitely is pulled in a little bit closer than the films usually are. And yeah, I couldn't say for certain, and I would oh man. So one of the things about this one compared to Mando is that they did filming outside of the train yard set. They had another location, and that location was more like a movie set, a classic movie set. And we saw some other stuff leak here and there on like on the TikTok machine with the Chinese spy on you. It was and that stuff also looked more much more cinematic in that way. So I kind of think that it's gonna probably be more on like the Mando. But what I just talked about, it was a blue screen to fuck. But it wasn't the volume. The stuff
Right.
wasn't being done in volume. So
interesting.
yeah. So, you know, but it's like one of those things where, like, you know, excuse me, when you see a good sliver, but it's still a sliver, you don't want to extrapolate from that and just make, you know, a lot of scoopers in recent times, and I'm being generous with that, and for some of them, not all of them, but for some of them, there are some really great ones. But they will see, they will see. Thank you for acknowledging her. They will take a fucking sliver and then make that like that's the whole project based off of that one thing that, you know. Oh, guess what? It's the R5D4. Mandalorian season 2 is the R5D4 show. You know what I mean? No, you just in one episode, which by the way was created for this Kenobi film. By the way,
or like Babu Frick is a giant plot device or something, right? Like,
yeah. And you want to know what's actually pretty funny about that you mentioned that is I came really close to that because he was related so close to the main plot, and they filmed so much more with that than what we got because he's hilarious and adorable. And so they filmed a ton with it. And so there's like a lot on the cutting room floor of Babu Frick that can be released someday, and I hope they do, because but anyways, it made me go like, I think Babu Frick might go with them. And for a time I thought Babu Frick and Dio were like together. and
He's
there were
writing Dio.
Their whole war buddies.
yeah, well, there was something that I was told, and this was like a legit, source, that Dio like had the ability to like open up and did some other things that we don't see in the film. And so I started to wonder if Babu Frick went into Dio because he was a little guy. And I was like, this is too wild. I fucking give up. I just walked away. I just left it alone. Thankfully, I did. I wasn't so thirsty.
We'll get the history of Babu Frick being a champion pod racer.
So
I want that. I want Babu Frick to be the pod racer. Just call it the pod racer. Yeah. Is that Babu Frick? And just zoom.
And it's Sebulba season.
So
and hold on, he's out there racing, and then a little Minch shows up in like a little X-wing, right? And he's like, "No, I'm Babu Frick. I hate you." Sorry.
Thank you for the super chat, Thanera. Who's Tamara Morrison playing in Kenobi? So I am not at liberty to say, but let's just say a clone. Sorry, I hate
clone.
I hate to go that way with somebody who supported the show on a super chat, but I appreciate it. But yeah, I can't burn a source for a super chat. That would be bad. And I'll be honest with you that I am only a little bit sure on that one, anyways. And then Thunera said, so basically, it's peak prequel trilogy fan service we are getting with another Mustafar fight. Yeah, I mean it's basically if that was basically
Vader's whole series is fan service, man.
Baby Yoda is fan service, guys. Like, chill.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Thunera might be like me. It might be like, fuck yeah, I want prequel trilogy fan service, please. I'm not sure. Let us know. Let us know where you stand on this.
Someone says their dog is their heart.
Okay.
El perro es mi corazón.
Wait, oh no, that's
la
Jedi Dick Sensei.
La biblioteca está en El Dorado.
Best name ever, though. Best name, Jedi Dick Sensei. all I know is that
I love it.
People
someday
I'm gonna run into some like really attractive person. I'm like, yeah, I do martial arts. Yeah, with Ray Park and Ahmed Best from Star Wars. You ever heard of them? Yeah. I do lots of moves. Oh, who do I study under? Jedi Dick Sensei.
Oh, sorry guys, I was just coming out from the. I got to put this gi away. No, I guess I won't change.
I'd put it in that show. I like it.
Yeah, pretty much.
George would like it.
No.
George likes whatever I do.
Put it in the hat, baby. Put it in the hat.
Allison mentions that Mando has shots like the Rifleman and other westerns. Yeah, it does. There's even which episode was it? There's even one I was told about before when I saw it. There's even a shot from Gunsmoke, lifted. Holy shit. Real Ben's also Cody, laugh out loud. It probably is Cody. I mean, it really probably truly is if it is what I think it is. But I also don't know. But I also don't know if it's even big. That's what
I'm playing Omega. Don't you know?
I'm Omega all grown up.
Yeah. I'm Omega. Grown up now.
Oh, yeah. I'm Omega.
We start out as little kids, but we get big like me.
Yeah.
And he starts doing the bushwhacker thing, and it's just fucking show's gone off the rails.
Women go bald too,
I only got one blonde thing on my head now.
Yeah, it's like a little QB doll looking fucking hair from Omega.
It's like Bubba Herman, right? Like from Roger Rabbit.
Oh fuck. Tomorrow Morrison's like, I'll do anything for a buck. I hate myself. I really hate myself sometimes. But the roles are challenging.
Do you think he ever thought? Do you think he ever thought he'd be working this much? On Star Wars and stuff. I mean,
no.
Could never have fathomed, right?
If I had him on the show, I did like so when you were doing the voiceover work for the original trilogy stuff that you did when you redid Boba's lines, it probably felt like it was it, right? And you probably thought like this was their, goodbye, and then you were hoping to be like kind of G.I. Joe or something, right? And I think that's what he'd say, probably like, yeah. I mean, that's probably right. I mean, like when you get down to it, like
he could have played Storm Shadow easily or Snake
Sure.
Eyes. Him and Ray Park as Snake Eyes and Storm Shadows at one point would have been
That'd been
perfecto.
awesome.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, Ray
Yeah, I
Park
know.
did play Snake Eyes in that first G.I. Joe film. So
Yeah, the first two, huh?
was he in the second? I didn't see it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was in the second too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I watched them with my son, and I don't remember a thing. For what it's like, it's weird. Like, if something doesn't connect with me, it just doesn't connect anymore. I'm just like, I don't know.
It's way
so
too cheesy.
Yeah, it sucks too because GI Joe could be so good. Like GI Joe and Transformers should be Star Wars good.
Can I just say this?
weird.
So schlocky though right now.
Like the second Star Wars Transformers film, it's not a great film, but it ends with Optimus Prime on the aircraft carrier, the giant aircraft carrier, the big toy, right? That used to be
Yeah.
a Toys R Us that blew us all away. And I was like, are these army dudes gonna become G.I. Joe now? Like,
Oh right.
because he's on the set and they're all like they're driving around with them with the vehicles and shit. I'm like, they got the same Doom buggies that they had near OG, the 80s G.I.
Yeah.
Joe before they got all techno. And that just seemed like and Duchamal or whatever. Look, he looks like Duke. He's got blonde hair, he's got the whole bit.
Oh, Josh Duhamel.
Duhamel, yeah. Like I'm like, they just make them G.I. Joe. Now you're G.I. Joe and you work with Transformers fighting Decepticons and Cobra and all that stuff. And I was like, I thought that was gonna be, and then nope. So
Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite Joe? Who is it?
Joe Dante. Oh, you mean like
Your GI of GI.
Okay, you're gonna laugh, but I have for some reason as a kid I loved Serpentor.
Okay.
Like he had the golden snake outfit and the fact that he was just always talking
was
in the
another
third
way.
person.
It was the right amount of crazy. It was like not
Yeah.
too mummerish and it's not too Skeletor-ish. It's just that right amount of crazy because the guy took himself way too seriously.
And I don't think anyone's
about
ever
you?
said that's their favorite. So that was,
About you, Jesse? Did you have one?
I have Beachhead. I really like the Beachhead figure, and then anytime I'd see him in the show.
I had that one ship that went underwater with the guy with the bubble head. I just liked that toy a lot as a kid. But my favorite was Dusty, because he had that whole story where he was a traitor, but then he went back. And it was like what is this?
I won't lie. I was completely intimidated by the Baroness.
Oh yeah.
Like I was like, ooh, no, you can't even look at that toy. That's too intense for Rob. That was the first time I was afraid to look at a cartoon, or I was like, whoo.
You pull it off the shelf, and fat bottom girls from Queens start playing.
No, as a kid, I was super attracted to the Baroness and Evelyn, as well as what's her name with the red hair from G.I. Joe?
Scarlet.
Yeah, Scarlet. But if you look at the two, there was two and there was one, and you could tell how I went down the dark path of just dark-haired evil women. But I'll never change my ways because I like that part.
I believe if Padme wore glasses, Anakin never would have turned to the dark side.
Yeah.
Like, he would have just been like, too good. Like Annie Potts, can't do it.
Yeah, Annie Potts is a woman. Oh wait, I meant to read that comment from. No, we talked about Daniel Logan. Oh, here it is. Okay, it says. To be honest, I wanted a Logan style Kenobi show where it's just Ewan on Tatooine. But if it's good, it's good. And I can't vouch for every episode of the show to say like what it is. And is there an episode? I would not be surprised if the first episode gives you that, and then we see that it like that's not really 6 episodes worth of stuff. Flashbacks and stuff like that throughout time could be a thing. If you wanted to do an Obi-Wan Kenobi anthology series, that would be one way that they could have made a lot out of it, or a couple of seasons worth of Kenobi stories if they wanted to. But from what I understand, this is like a one and done, supposedly. But I also think it's going to be super huge and they'll make more.
Like, let's be honest, right? Like, look, yeah, would I as a guy who likes slow moving, stories, like to just watch him surviving on Tatooine and I don't know, whatever, having memories or helping out local people or something, certainly. But if you only got Ewan for one shot and you're gonna spend, I don't know, $50 million, do you really want to be like, yeah, we did it, and he just sits in the desert? I mean, it's a very George thing to do. Like George would be like, yeah, he just
very
sits around
subdued.
and just talk. Yeah, yeah, he tries not to turn and look into the lightsaber. Like he just whoa, missed it.
And the budget for this one is that of a film.
Right.
It's a lot.
And could you imagine if they did that? The negativity, the people would complain, and it would just be like, oh, this is what Disney's doing with Star Wars now. They're just sitting around like, oh, can't we believe we're watching like that? You'd hear it either way, So you're better off going with the big action figure stuff versus.
Yeah. So one of them is he has to leave the planet to go rescue a Jedi to be, because he finds out somehow information that there's one on the run, and he's trying to get to them before the Inquisitors do, and hopefully get them hidden or something like that. And we find maybe a couple of episodes about how he kept Luke from being found out and that kind of stuff.
What if it's Grogu?
Guys, I just want him to save Jar Jar. Like that's like that would be like my friend. Oh, the one guy, this fucking dude. Like
yeah.
Like he felt like a familiar kin. Like, yeah, God, he's the closest thing to like a stepbrother.
We's are brothers.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm just gonna assume that since Ahmed came on our show, he's not on that show.
You're right. That was the real bummer when you told me it was coming on. I'm like, damn, that means no Jar Jar.
Yeah,
that means definitely not happening.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean that's such an opportunity for somebody to pull him back in too, Ray
Parker.
He says, for some reason I thought Rob meant Ray Parker Jr., and now I think that would be even better. Yeah.
See, Ray Parker Jr. throws shurikens like this, right? That's how him and Aska Ninja, they're best buds. Someone said the other day, who do you want narrating your funeral? And I wrote Aska Ninja, and I got like 150 people going, oh my God, I freaking miss that dude.
Allison said, Rob just wants to run around saying, this I command.
Yes. I have a hood, right? Like
no,
right?
In all seriousness, is like Serpentor not liked now?
He wasn't liked when I was a kid. Everyone thought he was annoying.
I thought everybody loved him. He was like a Melloway toy. We were all like trying to get him and shit. I thought he was like huge, but I mean, Cobra Commander was better, I guess.
He was on sale at a Kmart for like $2, and I begged my mom. I had to pay with pennies, and that's when I learned, like when you go up to the register and pay with coins, and people hate you. It's because you're poor. That's what I learned. Oh, people hate poor people because they hate me. But I brought that figure to school, and man, dude, I got. I mean, this is 1987.
Did you get razzed or what?
It was not good. They were like, "Oh, Snakehead, oh, dude." They made fun of me for that, and the jazz transformer, the beatbox jazz, which apparently is worth a lot now. But I gave up on my toy because they hate me. I just threw jazz in the corner,
Yeah.
Or Blaster?
I love
Blasters?
Blasters, whatever his name was. Yeah. I would call him Jazz, but it's not Jazz. But yeah, the one with the red, the Autobots Blaster, version of Soundwave. Yeah, Blaster. Yeah.
So, but on a complete. Oh, sorry, dude. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you get a chance to check out that video that was out on YouTube about the kid who tried out for Anakin and didn't get it?
Devin Michael. That's why I dropped the name earlier. I watched the whole thing, man. Tear in my eye.
Have you seen it, Jesse, by any chance?
I think I've seen part of it. I haven't seen the whole thing.
Okay. Jesse hasn't seen any of it. I've had enough students to know that that means I tried to do the reading, but I No, but I didn't send it to him or anything like that. So it wasn't homework, Jesse. But man, yeah, I kind of with how shit's working today, I don't know if it's a good idea, but I almost wanted to try to put it on and just to pause it constantly, watch it, sift through it and go through it. But it was so fucking sad.
Yeah.
And the real like kind of like strange was almost like I don't think it was on purpose or it was like meant to be bad or anything like that. I think if anything, they probably thought it was helping him. But they put him in the beginning documentary from his tryouts, and to him that was super super bad because he didn't get the role. And the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, why? I mean, I'm glad that like Kitster and shit, but why didn't Lucas make roles for the runner ups? Like to be Anakin's neighborhood boys, you know,
Right.
like why? I mean, and I get it, you know, he just wasn't.
Yeah.
Headspace was
Survival of the fittest, you know. It's like, look, I run this show like Squid Game, okay? You know,
Right.
like,
This is,
and these kids are
my
gonna
cousin.
learn.
This is my cousin Sal over here.
Yeah, the unions won't let me. Wards. They said it. Once you pick a kid, the other ones have to go. Like,
well,
that's...
the fucked up part was when the kid gets the phone call, and the phone call is Lucas saying 3 boy enter, 1 boy leave. That was fucked up.
And they're like, Michael's back. You know? Like, oh wait,
You're
no.
no Kitster.
Yeah, I never. This whole time, as much as like as an artist, you know, you get rejection all the time. It's just part of the deal.
Yeah.
I never once thought, oh, they showed the kids getting rejected, but nobody else.
Yeah.
It's not like they didn't show who else would have got Mace Windu. You know, it was Dave Chappelle, you know, and Damon Wayans, and then, you know.
Or a line of character actors that we all know.
Right.
Tupac,
It was
Tupac was in the running for Mace, but he got shot.
ooh. They that's true, right? That actually is
Yeah.
true.
So I'm
Yeah.
just throwing it out there. Where was Samuel L. Jackson the night Tupac got shot? Think about it.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
So
and then he's like, yeah, you're gonna give me a fucking purple lightsaber. And George is like, don't kill me.
let's do a show. We got to do one. It's one a year. How about one a year?
Okay.
We'll call the show Allegedly, and we'll just make up all the fucking rumors we could do, and just end it with allegedly.
Allegedly. Right.
like on January 1st, right? Like
April 1st.
all the rumors for the year allegedly, and it could be
Allegedly.
anything we want. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but no, I never thought about that. And just watching that, I'm like, man, those. Yeah, if you went to school and a bunch of kids watched that DVD and they're like, oh, you missed the role, you suck. You know,
those kids were like the kids that were making fun of you for your Serpentor because I thought he was fucking cool as shit. He was fucking snakehead, dude. And I like metal then. I like metal then. So
If you had more than 2 GI Joes growing up in my town, you were fucking rich.
Do you see what I'm wearing right now? I'm wearing gold and green. Do you not understand how deep Serpentor runs? I didn't even realize it till now. I'm wearing his fucking colors.
I'm wearing golden Snoke robes. They're made of silk and satin.
I have an ego. I think I'm him.
No.
Sketch. Get me started on other
Get to the
scoopers.
scepter.
But,
Yes, get me this. I can hold it. Like, all right.
The
Next
like
Black Series item.
the really sad part is they also, like he says, like he wonders about Jake because he and Jake got to hang out for that time, like when they were like together, like in those things. And he's like, you know, I like wonder how he did with it and stuff like that. Then they show like in to an extent, it was
a little editing.
It really shows a really sad picture of Jake. And I think that some of that stuff is maybe a little bit out of context and shown in a certain way to make it seem even sadder. But I also don't think it makes it any less true. And I guess that's one of those things with a documentary that you don't really know, like what is the line? Like when is it okay? Like JJ's fucking UFO documentary where they're making up like spaceships flying over moon people. Well, that's obviously wrong. You know what I mean? But is that in essence Jake's experience? Probably to like some extent, you know. So anyways, yeah, I watched it. I watched it last night, and if you guys haven't seen it, I suggest checking it out. And it's was it on the New York Times?
I don't know. I'll look at it in a minute.
Yeah, it's on. Jesse should mute his mic, but
Sorry.
it's on the New York Times YouTube channel.
New York Times.
Devin Michael. Yeah. I still I know we're in disagreement. I still think Devin Michael is the better choice. So I think he just looks exactly like Luke. Acting aside, it's kind of irrelevant because a lot of people didn't like Jake Lloyd's acting anyway. So not to fault Jake Lloyd.
Yeah.
People didn't like any of the acting in that film.
Yeah.
except perhaps Ian McDermott, and most people didn't even know who his name. You know, like he's probably the only one that people universally go, yeah, I like him. He was good, you know. So
The only thing, or not the only thing, like I like I said, and I don't mind Jake in that movie. I just think that like it's kind of fucked up, okay? Because I don't really think that like Mark Hamill's acting in the original trilogy is necessarily award winning. You know what I mean? And so it's like on one hand, I go like the acting really in Star Wars, I could kind of see the perspective from a director who's made Star Wars before, where you're like, that doesn't really matter that much. It's just like get the person, like the person, and then just shoot it and say it and go. And then, but as we can see, like I think the original trilogy worked because like Carrie Fisher has more personality than anybody can deal with.
and Harrison Ford and her,
Yeah.
but
cool
can I
shit.
what I want to say? What Devin has that Mark Hamill had is there's a sadness in his eyes when he looks at Padme and says, "I won't be one day." You can look at him, there's a sadness, and it's the same look Luke has when he sees the charred remains of his aunt and uncle, or when he's looking at the sky. When he's looking at the sky in that scene, it's not he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be the hero one day." It's sad. It's like I'm never getting the fuck off this rock, you know? And
Damn,
like
I'm just
he
saying
really
that in my head, dude.
but we all feel it. And I think like when he says that was his favorite scene, I really think that was what he was thinking of, even at 12 years old. I think the only reason why I can't speak for George Lucas, but I will.
I can.
I just think he just wanted to cast a younger looking kid. And I think Devin probably looked a little older than he wanted.
I think I think you don't want to cast sad, depressing little kid Anakin. I think you want him to be full of spirit and very helpful and very good. So that way, when he turns later on, it was going to be a stronger character arc. And if it wasn't George Lucas directing it, I think that would have been a good project layout for it. But we both know who directed it, and we both know how every performance in that movie was across the board because of who directed it. So had he been on it, we have been spared. That movie put fucking Full House actors all up in that shit.
The siblings of Full House actors, to be fair.
Yeah.
But it
Walker.
dawned on me. It just dawned on me after watching the documentary. And then I was thinking about, for some reason, I was like, okay, everyone had a shit time on Ahmed. And then it dawned on me, Ahmed kept saying, and he's not the only one to say it, but that Jar Jar's like a child, right?
Yeah.
He's like a child. And I'm like, so you have a story where you meet a character in the first 5 minutes who's out of place, teams up with Jedi, and then he's missing his home and no one likes him, but he ends up being the hero. But that ain't Anakin. You have another character that you meet halfway through the movie who's also going to leave his home and be out of place. And it's like, George, you did that twice in the movie.
Well, and it's counts
and Pat
to some extent too.
So it's like, I'm just like, they should have tied Anakin to whatever they lied on that planet. It feels like a lot of the same thing being happening like 3 or 4 times,
Yeah.
So you don't know. It's hard to feel for Anakin leaving because like we just watched these dudes leave their home. Like I don't know how many people are leaving their home. Okay.
Yeah.
But he did write this scene where he beat the shit out of Greedo. So like it's not like he was totally jovial in the script. I mean, I know Lucas cut it out, but he wasn't thinking that when he was casting the part.
Yeah.
That is the closest thing to George Lucas shooting the twin sons in the prequels is when Anakin leaves his mom with that shitty backpack.
When Anakin leaves his mom is probably my favorite moment in that movie. It has doesn't have any talking in it, and the music is really good, and the way he goes to take the step and turns back and everything like that, and that's but I think that moment symbolizes the difference between Anakin and Luke. Luke's a little bit of doesn't want to answer doesn't want to the call to adventure comes. He's like, I don't think I can, and all that stuff. But if his uncle said go ahead and go, he would be gone. He wouldn't even look back. Whereas Anakin is looking back constantly.
Yeah,
right. But that's a sad scene, and that's where I'm like, you cast Evan Michael, like because he'll sell that key moment. The whole point of Lucas was like, Anakin loses his mom. Yeah. And that's essentially what so if that's the thing, you need someone who can sell, who feels about losing. And Anakin, like Jake Lloyd had a great scowl,
right?
Like he had a good but I never felt sadness. So whatevs. But we got. I mean, it's who we got. I'm just saying. That's why I stand by it. But
I learned the trick.
Jason just moving us all around.
I learned the trick. Oh shit!
He's
People
like,
are gonna be sorry. I didn't actually mean to do that trick though. There's a thing to toggle spotlight, and I was like, oh, can I put? I thought I was gonna see if I can make you full screen while you tugged. I'm sure there's a way, but anyways, yeah. I think that like I said, I don't think he wanted like darkness in it in Anakin, because he said as much. Actually, he said that people wanted him to be this little troubled boy, and he wasn't making a story. He says, I wasn't making a story about a troubled boy. I was making a story about a boy who became troubled.
Which is why when we put the first poster out, his shadow was Darth Vader, because it's totally about this happy kid who goes to Discovery Zone. And
oh shit, it's him.
What is he doing? Like, he's currently selling things on eBay while we do the show.
Dude, no, I don't know if you guys saw, but I saw Jesse went to Zoltar. I saw him make a wish.
He wished Rob could have the Serpentor staff.
I think he just Benjamin Buttoned bigged himself.
Yeah, he's gone from Dennis Lawson to you inside. My wife asked me today, she's like, do you hate Dennis Lawson? I was like, I'm thinking I do now. Like I didn't, but maybe I can get there, like with enough time.
Yeah, I would not have minded if Tupac had been in Star Wars. Honestly, it's really left field, but I think he would have done a good job. Allison says, great, I can watch something else that will make me cry. Thanks. Yeah, it definitely puts you in that zone, but I don't feel like there was like ever like a moment where like it really hits like that fever pitch of like let's cry. And I think in a way it kind of like leaves off like kind of hopeful. But the one thing about it that I will say, and this is me being like completely nobody, I'm fucking nobody in this whole thing. Like being around Star Wars is terrible. And just in like the little bit that I've ever fucking had, it's shit.
Nobody feels that way about working on the MCU films, by the way. They're always like, we love this job. Everyone comes off Star Wars like, fuck. You know?
Yeah. No. It's true. I mean, and like, so like I could only imagine even the boy who tried out to be Anakin. And what I was going to say about him related to the Serpentor thing is I feel kind of bad for him, because I think those kids were going to pick on him no matter what, because he was a really good looking kid and that they had reason to bust his balls and stuff like that. But he had it attached to this bigger thing in this sort of like life rejection kind of moment, you know? And
well, I got to witness this a little bit when I was a kid, because Heather O'Rourke, the child star of Poltergeist and Happy Days, moved to my hometown, Lakeside, California, and went to the middle school that I went to when I wasn't going to that middle school at the time. I was still in the elementary. She went to TDS, and she unfortunately passed away in that town. But she was friendly with my neighbor.
Okay.
And I got to meet her once, but the stories I would get, because my neighbor would babysit me, she's like, they just pick on her all the time at school, you know, because you think you're so good, you're in movies, and look at your one of us, like, where are you here now, you know, kind of stuff, you know. So
yeah,
it was sad. It's sad to see that, you know, that happens.
Yeah, no, it totally does. There was I want to say it was like probably 5th grade. There was a girl named Madeline, and me and Madeline, we were kind of a thing. We kind of had some like shit going on, and she got the commercial for Birthday Barbie, and she came to school and afterwards, and she's like, she did it, and she's like, yeah, I'm in the Barbie commercial now. We see her fucking little face on TV and shit. Then she was fucking too good for me after that. But then shortly after, oh, did it spring back around? Oh, everybody was doing Birthday Barbie in her face, and she,
no.
Yeah, it was like, it was.
No. You can never win at school,
you can't.
You know. You just can't.
You can't.
At least
I wonder how long that lasted for her, honestly. Pretty
At
fun.
least now, like when I got a little bit of notoriety, like when I got the games and stuff, people that
Yeah.
I was friendly with growing up, they just ghost me. Like, I don't want to fucking talk to you now.
Right.
Like, that's nice, but I don't have to go to school and be like, oh, you fucking Mr. Game Guy, you know? Like, oh, fucking this shit, you know? Like, I wanted nothing more than to be on Double Dare when I was a kid. That was my
Me
sole
too, man.
dream in life. Yeah, to be on more than anything in the world, man. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
And I could never. There would always be those write in for tickets, go to the thing. Could never get my uncle from the radio station, who would watch Family Double Dare. He goes, we could go on that. We could go. And I'm like, why don't we go? He's like, And then I realized because he has drinking problems and his wife hates him. That's why we can't go. But
Right.
like I imagine if I had ended up on Double Dare, that would have been I was already getting my ass kicked anyway. At least I was like, well, at least I'd be getting my ass kicked, and I was on Double Dare.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, yeah, go ahead and try to fight me. I'm gonna do a fucking sweet solo on my Casio keyboard right now. I give a shit.
Remember those two people had to come out and show off all the prizes?
Oh
And
yeah,
they're like
dude.
really selling it.
No, they were on some serious cocaine, allegedly.
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 guys.
I like this. It's my
Sorry,
favorite.
but I got the
Jesse.
phone call, and my wife's godfather just passed away in the hospital. So
Oh.
we're
Sorry to hear that, dude.
yeah,
Wanna-
so
you
we're
wanna
gonna go
Yeah,
take care of that right now because
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm so
family's
sorry.
crazy.
Dude.
yeah. Tell
Yeah.
tell your wife. Sorry to hear about
Yeah,
that.
man, I know. Thank you, and I just get some prayers out there for everybody who's suffering. Make sure everybody remind all you out there, get your vax if you can, wear your masks. It's very
Was
important.
It COVID related?
Yeah, my wife, she's a surgical intensive care nurse. She's managed not to get sick this entire time, but she has had to watch people from 90 to 15 years old pass away throughout this
Yeah.
last year. So it's real. So
So sorry.
yeah, thank you, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay,
Yeah. We love you, dude, and take care of the wife, dude.
I
See you
will,
tomorrow.
man. Take
Bye.
care. Bye.
Oh.
That sucks.
Truly the
Yeah.
best of times and the worst of times, right?
Yeah, I mean, if there's anything good comes out of it, hopefully somebody in the chat didn't think it was real and starts to think so. But I know you guys are all smart in the chat. Well, actually, this Eric Denton, he denies a lot of stuff.
Hey, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
hopefully Shuri from Wakanda learns how to fucking get a fucking shot. Like it's fucking
Yeah.
nonsense, man. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's fucked up. But and then what do we got? We got Allison says when Emma Watson was at Brown and answered questions, people would say 10 points for Gryffindor.
Yeah, but they're not dunking on her. Everyone's just like living up the moment. So
Yeah,
that's cool.
I mean, yeah, I think that's more about them than her in that moment. Like,
I gotta tell you, sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
I still think the most disturbing moment beyond George Lucas' daughter, I think it's kind of cute with the hair thing, it's what a girl would do. It's
Sure.
cute. But I think the most disturbing moment in that beginning is when Terrence Stamp's like, I really wanted to meet Natalie Portman. And I'm like, what? I get Devin Michael having a crush on her, but Terrence Stamp?
Yeah.
Like 50.
Well, I mean, okay. Well, I mean, she was in some pretty good movies.
Come on, though, man. Like you don't need to say that you don't have to say everything on camera, right? Like,
No,
and
well,
George didn't have to leave it in. Think about that.
Well, I mean, it is kind of weird. Or I shouldn't say it's weird, but it's like, for instance, what's her name in Labyrinth? She's like 14 in Labyrinth.
Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah, but it's like,
Yeah.
you can see that she's exceptionally beautiful. It doesn't mean like you want to go like, fucking, take her to a motel or something. Just like, but you could tell she's beautiful. And
Sure.
like same thing with Natalie Portman. It was like, wasn't like it was any clue like, oh, well, she may blossom someday. Who knows? But
if you're the guy playing Haggle and you don't want to talk about peeing in a fountain for 15 minutes, right?
Yeah.
You're like, hey, here's a movie with Jim Henson and Frank Oz and all these people, right? And the most important thing I'm looking forward to is meeting Jennifer Connelly. And you're 50, you got issues.
Yeah.
It's not a good line, So.
Allison says that she met Natalie Portman when she was going to Harvard. Did you go to Harvard too? Like were you going to Harvard, or were you just at Harvard and then she was there? But what do you call it? I've seen Natalie Portman in person one time, and I don't know if you had the same experience as I did, but I've seen all of them now for the most part, and they're all just people. But Natalie Portman is from another planet. Like I've seen Angelina Jolie. I've seen her in person. She's hot, but she looks like a plastic person or something, you know, just to be a dick. But I mean, she didn't look like a natural person. Natalie Portman, I think if she was born like another time, they'd be like, "You are a goddess. You are a god. We are going to kill goats for you and let you drink the blood so you get all the iron the
horribly
system
wrong.
Yeah, but that's what definitely would have happened.
Right.
But no, but like I mean, and I'm not doing that to like dunk on anybody. Like you see like Daisy Ridley in person, you're like, oh shit, you are fucking hot. But at the same time, she's like real, like you know what I mean. Like Natalie Portman, like is just like to me is like, what is this thing? When Anakin says, "Are you an angel?" I'm like, I see where you're coming from. Not as a 14-year-old, but
I like the look on him when he's like looking at her. He's like, "What the fuck?" I admire that's what the look I had looking at an action figure for the Baroness. Like, I'm a nerd. I had this moment once in my life. It occurred in 1996 or 5. I can't remember. It's one of those 2 years. But I was walking in the back part of Comic-Con, heading south, and I'm looking around, and I just walk into somebody, right? And I look, and it's Tia Carrere, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And she's short. I didn't think she'd, or I was tall, whatever. But I look at her, and I go, "Hey, Tia." I don't know why I did that. I gave her the Joey, and she gave me the smile. Hey.
Yeah.
And kept going.
You know what that was? Because I know I can do this because I know you have no follow up. I know you have no follow up whatsoever.
No, I don't. I don't even know why. I would never. Yeah. I've never pulled that move on any woman. But it was just like, "Hey, Tia," and she just gave me this smirk, "Hey," and kept going.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I was smitten in like 2 seconds.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Tia Carrere is pretty exceptional. But yeah, it's anyways, where we're going. Oh yeah, Terrence Stamp. I think you just wanted. I mean, remember she was really good in the Professional, even though that a bunch of weirdos who went on to worship Lazy Town probably moved on to that show after. But yeah,
I thought the girl from Lazy Town was Natalie Portman. Like, because I didn't really. Because no offense,
the same guy. Sort of out of guys.
She's sort of out of focus in the Phantom Menace because they wanted to keep her identity a secret. You know what I mean? Like you don't really get a clear shot of her till the end. And I saw Lazy Tom. I said, "Hey, Portman in a pink wig doing aerobics? Like what?" Okay, I'll watch it. Like it's the oddest kid show ever. Sure.
Yeah, it was. Anyways, where were we going with this? So Allison said hello to Natalie Portman, and yeah, I probably would have just looked at her like, so good job. But yeah, it's always kind of weird. It's always weird when you meet somebody who is not a real person to you in a weird way. Like the current cast from episode 7 through 9, they were always kind of real people to me, and I kind of like saw them intermittently throughout the production of those films, so they always remained like people. But the fact that like I never saw Ewan McGregor when I saw him in the car, I was less than cool. I was like, and I so don't give a shit about meeting anybody anymore.
Right.
That like I didn't even have any like practice at being cool when I'm not. I went full fucking Beatlemania.
I mean, like when I met Kevin Eastman a few times, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, there's a dude that directly influenced why I draw, Yeah. And it was never like, "Oh my God, Kevin." It's just like, he's just a cool dude, But it was weird because I was listening to some interviews Ahmed did right before the interview we did.
Yeah.
Let me just brush up on some of the topics because I hadn't listened to him in a while. And then when he was talking, I did have a weird moment where I'm like, am I watching? Is he really talking? Like, because you know when you like if you hear them talk in interviews and then you talk to them right afterwards, sometimes it feels a little transitory. Like you're not
Yes.
right there. You know, like, am I right
Yeah.
here talking to him? Or am I hearing something? Like it was odd. So
Yeah.
I'll make certain I never do that again the day of. Like, probably not a good idea to listen to interviews of George Lucas before you talk to him. Probably better to just have a coffee.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
no. When we watch our Ahmed Best interview, I kind of like look at my face. I'm like so happy to be talking to him, and I'm like, I'm glad you're happy, but you look fucking stupid. Stop smiling, you fucking idiot. You know what
And
I
I'm
mean?
like, oh, I'm the only one looking like, because
Like
I just have that scowl.
you're all
I have that.
Jar Jar Binks, more like Jar Jar stinks.
My buddy texts me. He goes, "Does Jason really like Jar Jar?" I'm like, "Yeah, you really like Jar Jar.
I really
Like,
like Jar Jar. I
he
do.
doesn't lie. If he doesn't like some shit, he'll tell you straight up. It fucking sucks."
It's true. It's true. Uncarved Blood, it's kind of shitty. I ain't gonna lie. It's kind of funny that the guy who was the most critical of that stuff is kind of the shittiest character in episode 7, really.
That's a character that they could have done more with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
Like they could have.
he had a cutscene. Do you know that he got his arms pulled off by Chewbacca in the
Yeah, I don't
cantina?
know about.
There
That's a
was
little much.
yeah, but I where I'm going with it is Ryan Johnson saw that and was like, fuck that shit. And then like JJ in his mind had already dealt with him, even though it was cut from the film. That's what I think, anyways. Like I think that's I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I just feel like that was wrapped up psychologically. You know what I mean? Like for JJ, there was nowhere else to like take it. But
I think it's something that should have come back in the third one. Like Han Solo had to deal with Jabba in A New Hope. It was cut, but then it comes back in the third one. It's the plot lines are. I mean, that's her like main antagonist in that film, really.
mhm.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
the dude that's trying to keep her. I mean, trying to starve her. Like, and I
yeah.
guess in a way it was her shitty Watto. In a way, it was really weird, that relationship.
It was. Yeah, I would definitely say it was almost closer to Watto than Java in a certain light. But yeah, I mean, the person who's taking advantage of them, But
Right.
AVS07 Cup says, just read the article and holy shit, I feel like I'm 8 years old again. Thank you for saying that, because that is why I like to share and
And
have discussions.
congratulations too. Like, by the way, I don't think I should have said that right when we start out, but seriously, dude, like, I've been following you for quite the while, and I really like it when when people who work hard and strive and get wins, man, they need to be rewarded. So congratulations on all this, man. Like it's
Thank you.
super. It's not just super awesome to hear, but you really should hear that because we all appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's usually only the other side that you hear, or like the article will make somebody mad because I don't even know what it's going to be. Who knows? But yeah, but that's like what's stands out. Like now, I'm way more reasoned. Like I know what to expect. But man, like back in the day, like during the Force Awakens era, I'm like, here's this thing. You've all been asking about it. I got the answer, you guys. I got it. Here it is. I got the golden ticket for everybody. I'm gonna share the piece of the candy with everybody. And then everybody's like fucking throwing it up in my face and stuff like that and mad about it and hating. And I'm like, what is this? This is bizarre. But yeah, but now I know just like not to care and that those people don't matter.
So
And
do you
yeah.
think this will ship in the spring or summer? You think? Like,
Kenobi.
yeah.
So yeah, I was well, if you want to know when it's not, you could probably read some stories that came out this week.
I see.
Yeah, I do from what I can gather is there are definitely target windows of like where they want it to come when they want it to come out. I don't think it actually has that thing yet. And on a complete side note, that when that strike goes down, it's not going to affect the movies that I've already filmed. I have a feeling these could be spread out more. I think that's a possibility that should be
cover.
considered for subscription coverage of new content over time. So just that's kind of a nightmare scenario for
Well,
us fans, but
the strike though does affect sound and editing, right? So like, even though it's already shot, if they're doing sound work, that's still union, right? So
I guess I was
yeah,
I
because
don't
Kevin,
want to I'm not educated enough on the whole thing to like say for certain, but when I was talking to friends who work on the thing, I was told it wasn't an issue at the moment.
yeah, because
But
Kevin
maybe
Smith was talking about it on he did Fat Man Beyond last night,
okay.
and which they were talking about the Star Wars hotel. I guess. By the way, I'll come back to that. But
Yeah.
he they had just wrapped up on Clerks 3, and the guy who owns the bar, the science fiction bar, um, the cantina that they do the
Some
show out of.
villainy?
Yeah, Scum and Villainy. The owner of that, he was saying, because he's also like the editor on that film, Kevin's editor. So
Oh, really?
he was saying that, yeah. So I guess he's like, yeah, it doesn't affect. Obviously, we're done with shooting, but it would affect like editing and sound or something.
Okay.
So, but even then he was like, well, I think we're all right, but I think but even if we aren't, we support the strike, like whatever. So
Yeah.
they weren't complaining about that. They totally support it. But to get back to the Star Wars Hotel, so the owner of that, I forget his name. They call him Banff because he bamfs in the show. He says Banff and he shows up. It's got a little smoke. And
Right.
but he said he's getting he wants to get the tickets for the cruise, and so that cruise is like 6,500, but it's for the first 6 months. So August of next year it goes to 1,500 a night or something like that. So that's
Okay.
when he was going to schedule, and then Kevin on air goes, you know what, I'm just going to pay it because I guess it's like he's like the super Star Wars guy. I guess it's like his dream is to live Star Wars or so.
Right.
But I guess it's not going to cost as much after the first 6 months. That's
Okay.
yeah.
Well, yeah. If it gets more reasonable, maybe I'll give it a shot. But if it doesn't, I don't know. The whole thing puts a bad taste in my mouth. So yeah, was there anything else interesting about the strike stuff from the Kevin Smith podcast? By the way, I'll probably check that out.
No, I mean just that they support it,
Okay. Yeah.
But
Then
that's
good.
when he brought up the sound and everything else. I was like, I guess, something about like maybe they think people on the ranch are out of union, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like if the sound was being done at Skywalker Ranch, it might not affect, right? Like sometimes they can.
There was an editor who wasn't always used. I don't know what role the editor was, like what level, but their job was to transcribe my podcast.
Oh,
And some sources told me about this, and we turned it into jokes, like where we're making them write about themselves and shit and stuff on the podcast, which was like really fun. And but my point is something tells me that person was not in a union if they were transcribing my podcast.
right. Yeah, well, like that's the job they gave Jet when he first got there. They're like, guess what you got to do? Your dad ain't here no more. You got to earn your keep.
Thank you, ABS. I appreciate it, man. But yeah, I definitely feel like it's going to be a very interesting future because a lot of maybe I'm wrong, but a lot of people are like we were talking about the other day. They just will believe anything that anybody says unless it's real. And when
It's the oddest thing.
it is the fucking oddest thing. And like after when The Force Awakens came out and the stuff was on the money and legit and my sources all panned out and everything like that, I was like, people are gonna really understand now. And nothing changed. It wasn't until The Rise of Skywalker that a lot of the dickheads on Reddit started to kind of go, well, I guess he's got an ego and an attitude. And they would just say shit like that. And it was just like, whatever, man. But And it's like pretty funny because in real life, I really I think I have more. I'm more of the dude than than not in real life. But if you read about my personality on Reddit, I am really fucking cool. I think I think they make me sound cool, but they hate me because
They don't like that you defend yourself though. Like
yeah.
they're used to people who don't push back, you know?
Right.
And I think like we have a similar childhood in that okay, yeah, you can kick the shit out of me, but I'm never going to stop with the mouth, right? It's never going to
Yes.
end. I'm going to harass the fuck out of you every fucking day. And I'm going to be better at it than you. And I'm going to get real creative. And I'm going to make it uncomfortable. And the more uncomfortable it is, the happier I'm going to get. I'm going to ruin every day. And someone will have to stop this because they're the sane ones. I'm not sane.
Or you could just fuck off. I mean, it's
or leave me alone and we're all done. Right.
Right.
So, right.
Yeah, it is like really, really strange. Like I had like one lady who was just like fucking nuts, man. And she started like joining like Patreon, like our Patreon and like other people's Patreon, like that were like related to us and stuff. But it wasn't because she wanted to support shows. She was like trying to like get dirt and be all fucking weird, and we got her banned from everything. And finally, when she kept like harassing me, I was like, look, you got shit for brains. Fucking give it up. You're not as smart as you think you are, but then that person just goes around now for the rest. It's been years that I'm a sexist who say that women have shit for brains. It's like, not women, you specifically have shit for brains, and nothing's going to change that. But
yeah, I'm super progressive. I think there should be more women in everything, right? Equal representation. But just because you're a woman doesn't mean you're a saint. I mean, there are plenty of people right now in the certain political party that are fucking batshit crazy, and they're not dudes. You know,
I don't need Joe Fauci, ouchie.
Yeah, like this is what I'm talking about. So, but it's just that I don't even think that's much of an articulated conversation. But on Twitter or anywhere else, man, that is as articulate as it gets, and these people don't deal with that. It's like all or nothing. You know?
Yeah.
Star Wars is good or Star Wars is bad. You can't kind of like some and like, you know, like there's a person I follow who I like, but they're like, I love all Star Wars. I don't care what it is. And I'm like, all right. I don't love all pizza. I love pizza.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. Don't tell me you love all, because it's just like at that point, I just feel like you're removing any kind of like sanity from there has to be something you don't like. There can't possibly. Or you're just one of those people I can't talk to. Like I need people who are like, I don't like Sbarro's pizza. It tastes like shit. You know?
It does.
It does. I got sick. The last time I ate at a food court at a mall, I got a Sbarro's pizza because I remember having it in the 90s. I was like, I like Sbarro's. I threw it away. I got sick.
Yeah. One time I was at the airport like years ago, and I was super stoned, and I was like, I'm so hungry. I'm gonna buy a bunch of Sbarro's pizza. I'm playing with me. I'm gonna fucking eat that pizza. It's gonna be the best plane ride. And I'm gonna fucking, you know what I'm gonna listen to? Queen 2, because that record fucking sweet. And I'm gonna have Sbarro's pizza, and you could buy beer on the plane. I'm gonna make this like the best night ever on the fucking plane. And by the time I get on the plane, I'm not really stoned anymore. I just kind of feel gross. And I take like 2 bites of a Sbarro's pizza. And I'm like, oh my God, this is dog shit. And then my beer comes, and I drink a little bit, and I just feel bloated, and it was just like the worst night. So fuck you, Sbarro's pizza.
Right. But bad Star Wars is still better than the G.I. Joe movies. So, you know.
Yeah. No, I mean, like when it, I think with Star Wars, when it has heart still, or has some sort of center soul to it, and it's bad, it's still special. It's like
sense.
that's like the difference between like droids. Like when you get down to it, if you take childhood nostalgia away from it, it's nothing. It's hollow. And it's because they weren't allowed to make it into very much, you know. But and you know that's where like Attack of the Clones is the worst Star Wars movie probably ever made. At the same time, still better than most movies I see. I still prefer it over most movies I see, and I also think it's important when you're talking about Force Awakens or The Phantom Menace or even A New Hope, is to contextualize them in the day that they came out, when what the state of the art was and what the medium was like, and what's held up from that time. Because there are
Well, the
certain
Attack
things
of the
that,
Clones has two standout moments for me, right?
Mhm.
And so one is obviously the sound design in the Slave One Obi-Wan
oh shit, yeah.
sequence. I mean, that's iconic at this point. That sound is it's as identifiable as the THX logo, right?
Mhm.
So, and when it works incredibly well in a Star Tours ride, so that's great. The other moment is when the clone troopers are attacking, and there's like all that and they take down the little Geonosis like Death Star looking sphere, and it explodes and all the
Yes.
smoke comes at them, and they're firing the light and the smoke.
Right.
I've been wanting to see that use of light in the Star Wars film since we haven't seen that since Empire, right? That kind of use of light with smoke and atmospherics and stuff. I thought that worked really well.
Steven does it. Steven does it. So I don't. That's probably what George would say.
Oh yeah, okay. I was like, oh Steve, because Steven does that.
Steven does that. I don't do it. But
yeah, he fucking lens flares. I don't but he puts lens flares. They even made digital lens flares for the Phantom Menace. Like that's the funniest thing with it. Yeah.
What do you think the odds are? George Lucas is like, I'm gonna work on the Phantom Menace script today. It's gonna come out in 1994. I'm gonna do it. It's gonna come out in 1994. And then he walks down to the mall instead, and he goes to Sabaro's and he eats 5 or 6 pieces of pizza and goes, Sabaro. In the end, writes that down. He's like, okay, I work today.
No, you don't understand. He ate the Sabaro, and then when he has to take the biggest shit in the world, he goes, Sabaro.
Yeah.
He meant to say Sabaros, but Sabaro. Whoosh. And then
Jet, write that down.
Always wins. You're never going to beat that.
Jet, write that down. Okay, Dad.
I do think I don't want to be like George shouldn't have done Jar Jar, but I really just think it is odd that you want to push 100% digital creatures as the next thing. It's important. It's the next big thing. Why you make that character an annoying, the most annoying character intentionally? The other people in the film are annoyed by him. You probably should just made all the villains and the cool characters the CGI so people like it more.
Okay.
Here's
my theory. Here's my theory. You ever met that guy who comes in the room at 10 and you're like, fuck, this guy's cool. And you're laughing with him. And then a couple hours later, he's there and he's still going at you. And you're like, I need to get the fuck away from this person. I never want to see them again.
Sort of what I do here on the show to you, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that the edit did that to Jar Jar. I think when you take any moment of Jar Jar by itself and you just look at that there's nothing wrong with it. But what it is it's how featured it was and how many times you want to get back to the story, and it's here's Jar Jar doing a Buster Keaton bit, and all of the stuff is good, but it really I think wasn't the best thing for. I think George's intended audience and the actual audience weren't the same thing.
Obviously, I'm just thinking before all of that, right? You go, okay, Rob, Rob, you've never heard of this CGI 100% digital character thing before, but we're going to do a 100% digital character in the new Star Wars. It's going to be the new thing. Like, oh, okay, all right. Who's he going to be? The most annoying fucking thing you've ever seen. Everyone hates him in the film, but you're going to slowly grow to like him after an hour. No, I won't. It's you would think he's the new villain. All the villains are CGI, right? Or the new Darth, the CGI villain, maybe he did Grievous or something, right? At this point. Or the Darth Maul, the cool fucking character is going to be the CGI thing because I want everyone to like the CGI character.
Right.
Because Sebulba works, as a CGI character. You don't fucking hate him,
Sure.
but he's not a
Watto
main
worked.
character.
Yeah,
Watto worked too.
Watto works. Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
but making the CGI thing, it's like why Gollum works isn't just because, whatever the writing, but it's like, yeah, he's a scary monster and he plays it really well and it works. But it's like, it's just to make the most annoying, nerdiest, I guess the strangest move.
Yeah.
And
But that's actually like what I like about, like I said, I like everything about Jar Jar. I really do. The only thing I would say is, and I don't agree with the Phantom editor or whatever it was called, like the Phantom edit that happened
yeah,
and shit like that.
that
That was
doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work, and it was just like completely strong. Like it was like way reactionary. It was Lucas's inability to let Jar Jar do those things in the background without focusing on it. He focused on it, and it didn't happen in the background enough. I think that's what I would say overall was kind of, and when it does happen in the background, I actually just like kind of appreciate it, because I watch it. You watch the movie so many times, and you catch things in the background, and it's like, oh, it's funny or it's cool. It's like it gives you like different ways of looking at the picture and where you're. Ahmed actually told us what it was. He was like, where you look on the stage. Remember when we talked about like you look on the stage and then look on camera? The way that Lucas played with that, I think was maybe kind of what doesn't work for like our buddy James here, who says switch Darth Maul with Jar Jar, problem solved. And it's like, yeah, see that right there represents Lucas's audience versus his intended or imagined audience. I
really feel like it had the Nemodians, because the weakest part of the Phantom Menace for me is the Nemodians.
Mm-hmm.
They're fucking horrible. The puppetry, the dialogue, the mouth, that none of it syncs up. They're not threatening. The concept art for the Nemodians, where they're like lizard little gray fucking aliens wrapped in gold, is fucking amazing. And I know he just didn't have time. I know he didn't have time.
You need to embrace Nemodian greatness, because they are
So
fucking
bad.
awesome, dude.
So,
and
they talk with the bottom lip like that.
Nope. In Clone Wars,
So
Newt Gunray is arrested and he yells, "This is a great miscarriage of justice." That's my favorite part. It's so fucking good. It's so good.
I don't get high, Jason. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have this.
Yeah, I mean that was in the past, man. That was.
But you have the memories. like you're nostalgic. You're seeing through the lens of the Green Dragon. I had seen the lens of just an angry 24-year-old dude who's like, motherfucking, this is the best. Like, okay, I'm just saying, had they been the CGI and the big CGI character was Yoda, if Yoda and Obi-Wan were going along with Padme the whole thing, right?
Right.
And the big CGI character was Yoda, that would have been the big push.
Yeah.
And I just think, like, because he wasn't trying to create CGI humans like Cameron was with Avatar, right? He's trying to just create CGI creatures. Jar Jar is not human, he's humanoid. I just think the CGI Yoda would have been the bigger draw, because the more people would have been, obviously we know you put Yoda on fucking camera, everyone goes, oh my God. So that to me would have been the better route to go.
I was just thinking right now about how, Ahmed's been through enough. He doesn't need to be fucked with. But how funny would it have been if when he came on the show, we were like, so our first question is, what are you and Jake Lloyd doing this weekend?
Oh, no.
What, you guys don't hang out?
No.
What do you?
The publicist would chime in, motherfucker.
What do you guys like? Do you and Ray Park see each other every Christmas? Just like that, Yeah, it is getting late. I think we will call it a show because we're about 2 hours now. Allison says, I gotta run. It's getting late and I'm recovering from infusion still. Good night, guys. I hope you feel good or better, Allison, and we will see you tomorrow.
And my heart goes out to Jesse and his family.
Yeah, sorry about that, Jesse, man. That is unfortunate, and hopefully the family is okay, and we'll send Jesse a message tonight and check on him, make sure he's doing well. And
he was genuinely looking out for you today. He's like, is he okay? I've been missing
Yeah.
I'm like, I think he's in the middle of school. I didn't want to say that, but I'm like, I'm sure he's just busy doing stuff. He'll be.
I was
I don't have a way to
yeah.
call you, so I'm like,
Yeah.
I shine the your silhouette with the glasses into the air, like the
Well,
bat signal.
No, it was. I mean, in my stupid brain, I was like, I need to give Rob my phone number just in case. I'm like, why haven't I done that? And then I was like, but then like I think of this, and then I don't have a phone for fucking ever. You know, it's
The other
ridiculous.
thing is, even if there was something wrong, I'm in Idaho. What am I gonna do? Like, you know?
Yeah. Well, no, but I mean, like had I had your phone number, not that it really would have changed anything, but I could have been like, here's the link. I'm going to email you the link to the show, and you could get on and tell people I'm not coming on, which would be a bad place to put you in. But you could have been in the chat and said, you know what I mean? I would have done that.
You get me. Let me complain about Meg for no. Like, I don't want to do that.
No, you're
I
all-
love Star Wars, Santa, and Meg. Some people were texting me, "What's with you and Meg?" I'm like, "There's guys. Do you not understand? Can friends not professionally?" By the way, before we go, someone's got to play the heel at some point. It can't be Jesse because he's already short, you know, and that'd be mean. And you want to be the heel sometimes, and I don't think that as a heel, I can't let that happen. So,
yeah, right.
like,
Well, that is my personality defect. Is growing up, I was more about Mr. Perfect than
He was
good
my-
Macho
yeah.
Man. I was like, Mr.
Yeah.
Perfect is I love that. I love that level of trolling, and anybody with half a brain knows that it's that it's like it's tongue in cheek to some extent. And but then that's why I like punk rock.
Yeah, we totally agree. So I was just playing the heel because everyone's like got the great info. Everyone's great. And I'm like, someone has to hate this. Oh, I'll be the guy today. Like, just whatever. I mean, you know, Allison's too nice. She's too nice. So
Yeah,
I'm like,
too.
whatever. Yeah, she's super nice. So
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, congratulations. Super excited.
you.
Can't wait for another year to see it. Like,
right. And, yeah, it's gonna be some time, but well, I mean, next month there is a look coming from Disney Plus, and I'm sure people are going to assume that's where I get everything, but no, that isn't true. But there's going to be a look coming, which I imagine is going to be focused on Boba.
Forgot about that.
But I also imagine it will acknowledge Cassian and acknowledge Kenobi. You know, that's.
Do we know who's doing the score for Kenobi?
I don't think so. I think we just got it barely confirmed that Book of Boba was the same dude as Mando. Yeah, was
and
it
Creed? His Creed
Corenson?
score is amazing.
Is it Corenson or?
Have you listened to the Creed score by itself?
No, I haven't. With arms wide open. That one?
Yeah, no, yeah, that one. But his Creed score is really good. It's totally different. Yeah. And I guess like they didn't want to put in the Rocky, like the director, Ryan Coogler didn't want to do the Rocky theme, right?
Okay.
And he's like, I gotta just fucking try it. And they put it over and he's like, oh. So they played it both in front of audiences. And then when it does come in, they're like, oh, okay. So yeah, we should probably do that.
We should probably do
like,
that. Yeah.
What is with, by the way, have you ever noticed they have never used the Terminator theme since Terminator 2 in a Terminator movie?
Yeah. What are they thinking?
What is with that? They have the most iconic, one of the most iconic scores of all time, and they don't put it in the film.
It's some clanking, but it's good.
Yeah, and it works. It's just some clanking.
It's just some clanking.
It's like the folk. We should do like a folksy version of the Terminator 2 like album. Like it's folk, yeah, it's just some clanking. And I'm on a kazoo.
Well, unfortunately, it wouldn't work for me, but we could shave the sides of our head and call our band the Furlongs.
You know, by the way, we should be like long-haired Wookiees and call ourselves the Furlongs, and we only do Terminator covers.
We're Wookiees dressed up in Public Enemy shirts. We're the Furlongs.
fight the power.
Yeah, like the Furlongs. But
all right, man. Super good.
But yeah. Anyway, thanks to everyone who hung out with us tonight. Thanks to everyone who reads the site and supports the show and all that jazz. I appreciate you guys. And more stuff coming as soon as I get the green light that it's safe and okay to talk about that jazz. And yeah, and have a good day. We'll see you. I think we'll see you tomorrow probably, but we'll see what's up. We'll see how everything goes and what's going on. I plan on seeing you guys tomorrow. And also I gotta hit the end button, which means I gotta play the fucking song. Play the fucking song, Jason. Play the fucking song, dude. Do you know what, you know what it is? It's like once this thing starts going to shit, it like lags up a lot.
All I hear all day long at school is how great Marsha is at this, or how wonderful Marsha did that. Marsha, Marsha, Marsha.
I couldn't help.
It's not about spaceships.